What's going on, YouTube? This is Reaper and I am back with another video. Happy New Year, everybody. I know this is a kind of a um, kind of a long return, but I needed I needed a holiday break, people. I'm sorry. So, today we're going to talk about the true problem in Call of Duty as it stands in this current era. And now in this match is rather short, so I will keep it brief, but I'm going to show you exactly what modern Call of Duty looks like in every single match if you actually get into the actual, lobby or lobbies, quote unquote, that exist within Black Ops 7, which is the new Call of Duty for the year. But the funny thing is that this isn't the first time a match has ended like this in recent months. When I first started this game in November, I legitly got into lobbies like this all the time. But now that I am Master Prestige after 1 month of play, 1 month from release, people, I legitly started it on November 13th and Master Prestige on December 14th. So I was done within a month of release. But now it's just a grind to 1000, and I am going to take my sweet, beautiful, time to basically enjoy everything that this game and its devs, whether they be brain dead or not, have to offer. So now I got to admit that most games nowadays come to a kind of a sweat fest. I'll give my fellow YouTubers that much credit because they're the first ones that called this out. But you gotta understand, people. Call of Duty serves a purpose in FPS genre that is unmatched by any other title on this planet, and that is the dopamine kick. That is the dopamine rush that you get from basically getting kills, getting objectives, winning a match, so on and so forth. It is a brain chemical that your body intakes every single time you get that adrenaline rush. Now, I got to admit that games like Arc Raiders are not true FPSs. They're not even true multiplayers. They are legitly extraction shooters. Extraction shooters, people, are not FPS gay ass pieces of shit. So I'm going to tell you that right now, that if you compare Call of Duty to Arc Raiders or Battlefield 6 that used AI bots, yeah, you're pretty much a brain dead generation that thinks that. So I got to admit that this Call of Duty has been the most entertaining that I have actually played a Call of Duty match since Call of Duty was invented back in, the early 2000s. So back in my day, people, and I'm 36, even though I don't look it, games were sweatfests all the time because it was boomers against, the younger generation. It was the Gen X against current generation kids. Now that those generations went bye-bye. Now we have the millennials, the Gen Zs, and the brain dead alphas. Forgive my language, but they are brain dead if you're relying on AI to help them in video games. That is facts. So, if you cannot use your own brain, people, you do not deserve to exist. That is facts. So, if you cannot use both sides of your analog sticks to motor function correctly, you are brain dead. And the other fun factor that I'm going to point out is that these games have gotten sweatier and sweatier over the course of, evolution. So back like I said, back in my day, games like this existed all the time. But then there was the generation shift. Now a lot of YouTubers have been pointing out that how can devs just basically put out something this much of, this much trash content? How can devs do this to us? And I'll tell you the simple answer. The devs that originally made Call of Duty are not making Call of Duty no more, people. It's now all the generation millennials and generation Gen Zs that are the devs of today. If you do not realize that already, you lack intelligence. I'm sorry. But I'm also going to point out that this game made by the fast generation and the quick thinking generation is a lot more of a dopamine high than Modern Warfare 2 OG or even Modern Warfare 4. So my thing is that or the original Modern Warfare 4 rather. And I got to admit that most people don't understand that why people still play Call of Duty. And I'll put it simply, it's because of the dopamine hit. It's because no other game releases that amount of dopamine that exists today. So if you want that dopamine rush, if you want that dopamine chemical in your brain, you play Call of Duty. That's how that works. And I got to admit that having games come to a standstill or a 1 point off is the biggest sweat fest that you could ask for in any multiplayer match. Because when both teams try their hardest and it comes to a 1 point loss or a 1 point or a 1 point or a 1 point game, you know both sides were even. And that has been the case for over 20 years. So I know that this game is full of sweats. I know this game is full of mostly Master Prestige now. And I know that most of the players playing this are the people that are truly devoted to Call of Duty. Because I do not think that Activision got their quota that they wanted for this game, so they're trying their hardest to make do. But over time, I think that this game might see more traction than any of the other games that came out last November. I truly do think that, because it's legitly, see, 1 point. And I went +8, so there you go. But, I think that this game will get more traction over time, and that is a basic fact. But anyway, that's my quota for the week. I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and I wish everybody a pleasant rest of January. We do have the Xbox Direct, Developer Direct, coming up in a couple weeks, so look out for my response on that. But I pretty much already know the future, so we will see what Xbox truly has in store come that Direct. So we will see. But overall, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Please like and subscribe. Later.